Dear students, see in lesson number 4, we talked about the magnetic effect of electric current. Okay, in which how the magnetic field is produced. Okay, now we talked about magnetic field of an infinitely long current carrying conductor of a solenoid or a toroid. But in this lesson, we have to study magnetism of the earth, and we have to obtain the relation between the magnetic field of a solenoid or a current carrying loop, and we have to derive their correlation. So we start with the first with the word magnet. See, the word magnet has come from the island in the Greece. Magnesia was island where, see, when people were to go, okay, they are walking there. See, the iron nails on their shoes were stuck to this, or suppose a raw stick is there, and see the bottom part is of made up of some iron material that was attracted toward this. Okay, so that's why from the word magnesia, the word magnet is has come. Now, see, we are familiar with the magnetic field of the earth. Suppose, see, a bar magnet is suspended. Okay, a bar magnet is suspended from a, that is, a string is there. Okay, then it will arrange itself like this. See, this is our geographic north. Okay, the bar magnet shows when it is suspended, and if you rotate it, and finally it will come to halt, showing the geographic north. See, that we have studied in our earlier standard. So now, see, what is the property of a bar magnet? Okay, now see, in a magnetic force is attractive as well as repulsive. Okay, now see, between two north poles, see, these two are like poles, these are like poles. Like poles, there will be repulsive force. Okay, and let us say unlike poles, there will be force of. Okay, we also are familiar. See, we are also familiar with word that magnetic monopole. Mono यानी one. Why? Suppose a bar magnet is like this, N and S. So you divide into two parts. This is a natural property. It will divide itself into two parts of two magnets. Okay, so that's why we have to keep in mind. See, the magnetic monopole, okay, do not exist. Okay. Now, see, some materials like lodestone. See, is a naturally occurring ore of iron. Okay? Lodestone is a naturally occurring ore of iron that has a magnetic property. So that makes it a natural magnet. Okay? That makes its natural magnet. And see, industrially, see, the magnet is produced by different processes. Okay? That will be studying at the end of the in the last part of the lesson. Now, see, first we be familiar with the magnetic field of a bar magnet. Now see, a bar magnet has poles like N and S. Okay. Now see, 2L is the length. See, in the first lesson you had electric charge. Here is a magnetic pole P. Let us say NS, we show that. P is called pole strength. Okay, unit is ampere meter. Okay, now see here we studied about electric dipole and electric dipole moment. Here also see the magnetic field of the bar magnet is given in terms of the M, that is magnetic dipole moment. So M is equal to 2L into P. See, this has a resemblance, see, with our electric dipole moment. P is equal to 2A into Q. Here 2A is distance, here 2L is distance, here Q is a charge, here P is a pole strength. Okay, now in some of the earlier books, see, the pole strength was denoted as small m, pole strength was M and capital M, but to just differentiate it well, we are taking the convention like this. Okay, M is a magnetic dipole moment. See, what is the unit of magnetic dipole moment? Unit is ampere meter square. Okay, now see, recall M is equal to NIA. Okay, M is a magnetic dipole moment. You studied in lesson number 4. NIA, N is a number, current is in ampere, area is in meter square. So there is some resemblance. See, that we are going to see later on. Okay, just as our electric dipole moment was a vector quantity, see, the magnetic dipole moment is vector quantity. See, the direction is from S to N. Okay, so these are the basics for the magnetic field of a bar magnet. Okay, these are the basics for the magnetic field of a bar magnet. Okay, now we have to study the characteristics of the magnetic field lines. Okay, we have to study characteristics of the magnetic field lines. Okay, see, right now we start with the magnetic field of a bar magnet, then we'll have a resemblance or analogy with the magnetic field of a solenoid or other devices. Now see, the bar magnet is N and S. Okay, see, the magnetic field line, first characteristics, see, the magnetic field line start from N and converge at S. Okay, now this is outside the magnetic field line. Okay, see, in the first lesson we studied, see, the electric field lines do not form closed loop. Okay, that was one of the characteristics of the electric field line. But see, the important property about the magnetic field lines, that see, the magnetic field lines form a closed loop. See, in the outside of the bar magnet, it is from N to S, they form a closed loop. So what will happen? Inside it will be from S to N. So first characteristics, magnetic field lines. Okay, magnetic field lines forms a closed loop. Okay, now see, this can be done, experience or visualize in the laboratory also. You take a bar magnet and sprinkle some iron powder. So what we see here, see near the poles, this N and S are poles of the magnet. So the poles, see the number of field lines will be maximum. At poles, the density or number of field lines will be maximum. So here, if you keep a bar magnet on a paper and a magnet, okay, and sprinkle iron powders, see here the density or concentration of iron powder will be maximum. So we can say at poles the number of field lines concentration will be maximum. Now see the third, see the tangent drawn at any point. Suppose this is a magnetic field line of a bar magnet. See outside the bar magnet it moves from N to S. Suppose I draw a tangent here. Okay? So the tangent drawn at any point shows the direction of magnetic field at that point. So we can write the third point. See the tangent drawn at any point on magnetic field line gives direction of magnetic field at that point. Okay, that is the third characteristic. Okay. Now see, two magnetic field lines never intersect. Two magnetic field lines. Okay. Now see properties of magnetic field lines, or sorry, the characteristic of the magnetic field lines. See the magnetic field lines form closed loop. Okay. At poles the number of field lines density will be maximum or concentration will be maximum. See the tangent drawn at any point on the magnetic field line gives the direction of magnetic field at that point. Fourth, see the two magnetic field lines never intersect. Okay. And the fifth one, see here, suppose I consider unit area. Okay. How much line? Three. How many lines? Three are passing. See, if I consider similar area here, see there is only one field line. So, see number of field lines passing through unit area gives information regarding the strength of the magnetic field. See here what we can see, the magnetic field is stronger. Why? More number of field lines passes through it in a given area. Here number of field line is less, so we can say the magnetic field is comparatively weaker. So we can write in terms of the statement the number of field lines passing through unit area gives information regarding strength of magnetic field. Okay, so number of field lines passing through unit area gives information regarding the strength of the magnetic field lines. So this is regarding the characteristics of the magnetic field line. Now next we have to establish the relation, or we have to see some analogy or comparison between the magnetic field of a solenoid, okay, and bar magnet. Okay, that can be asked in a 2-mark question. So bar magnet has equivalent okay. Now we derive the formula of magnetic field of a solenoid. Now before that, in lesson number 4, we derived the magnetic field at any point on the axis of current carrying Okay, see our bar magnet is nothing like this, nothing but number of circular rings wound on a material, a non-conducting material. So number of things we have to combine. See what was the formula there? B is equal to mu naught I a square. Suppose a is a radius or r is a radius. 2x square plus a square raised to 3 by 2. Okay, that is the formula. This is the formula of the magnetic field at any point on the axis of a circular ring. See that we have to. Okay. Now consider, as I told, with some approximation we will be able to derive. Okay. Now see here, let us say the total length of the solenoid we consider 2L. Total length of the solenoid is, this we can say x is equal to 0. Okay, this will be plus L, this will be minus L. Okay, now this we consider as the origin. Now see, solenoid number of turns are wound close to each other. Now we consider a small section of length dx. Okay, okay. Now see, let us say A is the radius. Okay, A is the radius of the solenoid. Now this is x is equal to 0 at a distance x from the origin. At distance x from our origin, consider small section of width dx. Okay, consider a small section. Okay, now here n is the number of turns per unit length. N is number of turns per unit length. Okay, n is the number of turns per unit length. So total number of turns in dx length will be n into dx. Okay, now see our formula. B is equal to mu 0 n I a square or r square, 2 into a r square plus x square raised to by r square plus x square raised to 3 by 2, that I have written just now. See here, let us say P is a point. See, P is a point at a distance r from the origin. Okay, let us say okay. Now see the magnetic field. Due to small section BdB. Okay, magnetic field due to small section. See, we use the formula mu 0 n I r square 2 r square plus x square raised to 3 by 2. Okay, depending on r and r you can select. Okay, now see here, this n is nothing but n dx. Okay, why? Because n into dx will be made total number of turns. Here see, our radius is a, so we have to substitute in this equation. So that will become dB is mu 0 n dx I a square. Now 2. Okay, now is r is 2. See, r minus x. Why this section is r minus x whole square plus. See, what is the radius of the ring or a solenoid is this. Okay, so dB is, we can write as okay. Now that we have. Okay, now see, this is a magnetic field at a due to a small section of length dx at a distance x from the origin. Now to obtain the total magnetic field, see, we have to take integration over the entire length. So what will be our entire length? That will vary from x is equal to minus L to x is equal to plus L. So we have studied earlier. See, we have to add something, we have to go for integration. So here also the total magnetic field can be obtained by integration from x is equal to minus L to x is equal to plus L. So the total magnetic field can be obtained by taking integration from. Okay. Now we assume that this our distance r is very large compared to radius a, and r is very large compared to l also. So that is an approximation we are going to use. See, our distance r is very large compared to l. Okay. So in that case, see, it will be, this will vanish, this also will vanish. So what will become? R cube only. Okay. So d is equal to integration dB with these two approximation. So that will become minus L2 plus L. Okay. How the equation will be done? Mu 0 n dx IA square upon, see, this term becomes 0, this also 0, r square 3 by 2 by 2 r cube. Okay, what we see, all terms are constant here. All terms are constant. So this we have to take outside the integration. Okay, so this will be mu 0 n IA square upon 2 r cube integration dx. Now we know the integration dx shows the integration with respect to x. See, here the length varies from minus L to plus L. Okay, length varies from minus L to plus L. So mu 0 n IA square upon 2 r cube. See, this we have to keep in mind. Integration dx is x. Okay. See, minus L to plus L. See, minus L is the lower limit. Okay, minus L is the lower limit of the integration, and plus L is the higher limit of the upper limit of the integration. Now, see, mu 0 n IA square upon 2 r cube L minus minus. Okay, so this has become plus 2L. Okay, this has become plus 2L. I okay, now next we have to arrange. Okay, next we have to arrange. See, the magnetic dipole moment M is equal to IA. Here radius is A. Okay. Now see what we are having. I is there. A square also we are having. Okay. A square we are having. Okay. Now, so what we do? Mu 0 n I pi a square. Okay. Into 2L. See, we have 2 pi r cube. I square is area. Okay. This is M. Okay. Okay, and here total number of turns is n into 2L. Okay, we have formula M is equal to, let me rearrange. Okay, let me rearrange. M is equal to NIA. See, what is our N? N upon 2L. So N is equal to 2L. See, all these terms we are having. See, we have N, we have got 2L, we have got I, A square. All we are having. So, I consider for M is equal to IA for one ring. Now here n number of turns. So this will be panning out like this. Okay, so it will be mu 0 M of 2 pi r cube. Now recall, see the magnetic field at any point on the axis of a electric dipole. There we used to write 2 kp upon r cube. Okay, we used to write 2 kp upon r cube. Here also we want to represent like this. So mu 0, see if I multiply by 2 and divide by 2. Okay, so it will be mu 0 into 2m 4 pi r cube. Okay, so that gives the formula. This is nothing but the axis of a solenoid. So on the comparative basis, magnetic field at any point, okay, magnetic field at any point on axis of bar magnet, B axis mu 0 on 4 pi. Okay, this is the same formula I have written. Now this is the formula for the magnetic field at any point on the axis of the bar magnet. Similarly, see the perpendicular bisector. Okay, perpendicular bisector. See, so you can say this is a bar magnet N and S. This line will give the axis, and this is the axial magnetic field. Okay, now see the perpendicular bisector, that is called equator. Okay, so on the equator at any point, okay, so this is how we can obtain the value of the magnetic field at any point on the axis and equator of the bar magnet. Okay, now this is by using the, see, we have used number of things. We talked about a magnetic field of a circular ring. We consider why number of turns wound together, they makes us, that makes a solenoid, and by this comparison we have obtained the value of the magnetic field at any point on the axis and the equator of the bar magnet. Now see, next we have to see the torque acting on a magnetic dipole moment. Okay, see, in electric dipole moment, okay, there was two charge, plus q and minus q, but here in a magnetic field no such things. We have a pole strength which value is p. Now next we have to discuss the behavior of a magnetic dipole in a uniform magnetic field, or the torque acting on magnetic dipole placed in just as, see, the uniform electric field was represented by parallel and equidistant line. Here also, see, the magnetic field can be represented by, see, the parallel and equidistant line. Now let us say, see, a magnetic dipole is placed like this. Okay, now see, normally if I place a bar magnet, it will arrange itself like this, but suppose I rotate, we have to do some work. See, that work is stored in the form of potential energy of the dipole or the magnetic dipole. Okay, now see, it experiences torque. Now see here, P is a pole strength, here force is F, N and Fs. Okay, now Fn and Fs are force of equal magnitude in opposite direction, but they are non-collinear. So there is again translational equilibrium, no linear motion, but these are the two equal force in opposite direction and non-collinear, so it will produce the torque. See, the torque acting on magnetic dipole is given by torque is equal to m cross b. See here again, m is our magnetic dipole moment, b is the magnetic field. Now as I told, suppose a bar magnet is there. If I place in a uniform magnetic field, it will align itself with the field. Okay, and if I rotate and leave it, see there will be a restoring torque. So torque value is mb sin theta, but here there will be restoring torque, so torque will be equal to minus mb sin theta. See, when this negative sign is due to restoring torque, okay, the negative sign is due to restoring torque. Okay, now see, we have to take some approximation. See, when theta is small, we can take sin theta as approximate torque is equal to minus mb theta. Now in the rotational motion we studied about torque is equal to I alpha. Torque is equal to I alpha. See, alpha is the angular acceleration. There is given as d square theta by dt square. Here we have to recall I is moment of inertia. Okay, so if I compare these two, okay, comparing 1 and 2, okay, I into d square theta by dt square minus mb theta. There is d square theta by dt square minus mb upon I theta. Now see, again this is a second order differential equation similar to d square x upon dt square is minus omega square. Now we have used number of times. This is we studied it in SHM. Okay, then first lesson also we have studied. So this is a second order differential equation of SHM. Okay, so we can say above equation, that is d square theta by dt square is equal to minus mb I theta upon mb theta upon I is similar to, okay, d square upon x upon dt square is equal to minus omega square, which is differential of SHM. Okay, so it will perform SHM. Okay, now omega square is mb by I. Omega is root mb upon I. Omega is 2 pi upon d. Okay, then t upon 2 pi is I upon mb. T is 2 pi root. Okay, so see, as we have proved that it will perform SHM. So what will be the periodic time of this SHM? So t is equal to 2 pi root I upon mb. That will be the periodic time. So here also, see, when a magnetic dipole is placed in a uniform magnetic field, okay, see, torque will be produced. It will perform rotational motion, and it will be SHM that we have proved. See, we have derived the equation, obtained the differential equation, and we have obtained the equation of a periodic time with which it will oscillate. So this is about the torque acting on a dipole placed in a uniform magnetic field. See, next time we will proceed further.